Can money buy happiness? This is unironically one of the most philosophical questions for most people today, because money is the one thing that most of us will spend most of our lives chasing, thinking, stressing, and sacrificing for. It's what we interact with on a daily basis. It runs our entire society. We are literally raised and prepared from birth to get a job so we can make money. It's what we will give up a third of our lives for in some way, shape, or form. So answering that one question is pretty damn important, because if money doesn't buy happiness, then what's the point in spending our entire existence chasing it? Now, obviously there is some correlation between money and happiness, because let's take it to the extreme. If you don't have money, can you be happy? Unless you're a Buddhist monk or some extreme stoic. No. Every single person watching this video, the answer is no. Now imagine you were just given $100 billion. Would you be happier? Well, yes. At least happier than having no money. But would you literally be 100 billion times happier than right now? No, probably not. So there is some connection, but it's not one-to-one. So where is the line in which money actually does equal happiness? Well, let's break it down. So what even is money? Money is just a universal way to exchange value. What does that even mean? Well, let's go back thousands of years ago into the past. If you were a sole human out in nature, your chances of surviving alone were basically zero. You needed a group of people or a tribe to survive, to help you out. And for others to help you, you needed to help them. So we had a barter system where we could trade our resources and skills to help each other out. Good. But over time, this became a problem, because what if you wanted something from someone, but you had nothing that they wanted in return to give to them, or vice versa? To fix this, we invented money. Now, money doesn't really exist. Like, it does, but it doesn't. It's an abstraction that allows us to trade and provide services to each other in exchange for pieces of paper or coins that we can trade with other people that we all agree is valuable. It's not inherently valuable, but it's only valuable because we say it is. What can you do with money? Well, obviously you can buy things and buy other people's time and skill, because anything you buy is usually something you find valuable that another human has created, generally. And like, do you need money? No, you can technically do everything yourself. Most of us modern humans are pretty weak and useless by ourselves. Whenever you get hungry, you can go out and hunt for your own food and look for clean water, etc. Or you could have someone give you the food and water, which is valuable to you, by giving them money, something valuable to them. Whenever people are working for money, it's so they can exchange that money for different things to add to their lives, like clothing, food, housing, entertainment, etc. Things they couldn't do purely by themselves, or would be extremely hard to do by themselves. And whether we like it or not, we live in this world, and those are the rules. Almost no human throughout any history can do everything by themselves. If you want a comfortable life, you need others, but others won't help you long term unless you provide value to them. Money is the bridge. Without money, there would be no foundation for anybody to help anyone else consistently. Now, what is happiness? This one's harder, because like money, happiness is abstract and different for every single person. But here's how I'll define it. Money is the ability to live a life that one can be truly proud of, a life that you want. We are happiest whenever we are making progress towards something that we truly care about. It's being content with the present moment without wanting more than you have. It's accepting life. It's being satisfied that if it did end at that moment, you might not want it to, but you'd be okay with that moment being the final stamp of your life. A satisfying existence, whatever that means to the individual. Okay, but can money buy that? Well, the obvious literal answer is no, because happiness itself isn't something tangible. You can't just walk into a store, hand someone a $5 bill, and walk out with a packet of happiness. Of course not. You can buy physical things that make you happy, but there's a limit to this. There's only so much pleasure and only so many things that you can buy with a card before your happiness falls off. And this is because we all have this stupid thing called a hedonic treadmill. It basically means that no matter how much fun or pleasurable something is, we will get used to it and fall back down to a middle ground. It's kind of whenever you got your phone that's probably in your hand right now. When you got it, you're probably really excited. You made sure you had a case on it. You're setting it down gently and everything. But now you probably throw it around. It probably has scratches on it and you don't care about it as much. Or it's kind of like the first time you heard your favorite song. You had it on loop and were listening to it nonstop. And now you probably don't listen to it too much at all anymore. So we're not looking for quick shots of joy, because that's an uphill battle that we will all lose. It obviously doesn't mean that you can't chase quick dopamine hits, but that's not the goal. We're looking for sustained contentment with life. Not that you're always smiling, but a smile is never far away. If that's the ultimate goal, and money can't buy this, then what's the point in getting money? There's three huge things money can buy outside of survival. First, it buys freedom. More specifically, freedom of your time. Time is the foundation of everything and is the most important resource that we have. We all have a limited amount of time, and once it's gone, it's gone. It will never come back. It's the one thing that people who do have a lot of money will give up everything just to have a little bit more of. And for most people, most of their time is spent worrying and stressing about money. And usually the jobs or the things they have to do for money are things they don't like or care about at all, and they're only doing it so they can survive. And the first thing that almost anybody would do if they came across a large amount of money would quit their job to free up their time. When you no longer need to worry about surviving, you can focus on truly living. You can decide at any moment what you truly want to do with your time instead of needing to be somewhere that you don't want to be. Without true freedom of your time to chase the things that you actually care about in life, in my opinion, you will never be truly happy, and you're going to be limited on the amount of happiness you can experience. And second, having money gives you options. It literally opens doors for you, as without a certain amount of money, some doors are literally closed off to you. Because, like, sure, the hedonic treadmill is true as we adapt to things over time, which is true, but having and doing nice things exists for a reason. It feels good. With money, you can drive the car that you actually want to drive. You can go where you want to go. You can buy the thing you actually want instead of buying the cheaper brand because the name brand is too expensive. It gives you the option to experience different experiences that weren't possible before. Or even back to time, it can give you the option to spend more time to experience the things that you actually care about. You can spend more time with your friends and your family and do whatever you truly want. It can give you the option to control your life. Because there's just a lot of things that people limit themselves on because they don't have the money to do so. You probably experienced it like whenever you were younger. Like imagine you go to a store and you really want something, but your parents can't get you the thing that you actually really want because the number in their account doesn't match the number on a sticker, the thing you actually want. Without money, the options you have to experience life are limited. And finally, 3, the most important one, is peace of mind. One thing that always bothered me as I got older is when I realized that people spend most of their time stressing and worrying about money. And it's probably the number one thing on most people's mind because it controls almost every aspect of everybody's life. And the more you learn about the world, the economy, etc., you learn that most people are just on survival mode. They're just trying to make it from one day to the next. And as we get older, we start to realize and understand why so many people are stressed out all the time because they can never stop and take a break. They have debt, bills, expenses, and they can never truly relax. Even if they want to stop, they have to keep going. And even when they're not working, they're constantly thinking about work and they're planning to go back to work. When they're on vacation, they can't fully relax in their chair because they know it's going to end and they're gonna have to go clock back in 4 more days. The number one thing money provides above all is clarity and peace of mind. You don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. When you can take a deep breath and start to think long term. When your head is above water and you can step outside of survival mode. When you know that whatever happens, say like a nuclear explosion happening, you're fine. This is by far the biggest benefit. So while money doesn't equal happiness, it can buy you freedom, choices, clarity, and give you the tools to build it yourself. But how much money do you need to build your own happiness? Well, it's different for each person because you probably heard it before. There's been studies that pass $75,000 a year. The amount of happiness that someone experiences plateaus significantly as adding more money to their account won't necessarily increase their happiness because usually around that point, they usually have enough to cover all their needs plus more. So does that mean that if you make $75,000, that's enough and you can never be happier past that? Not really. Like once again, it depends. At that point, you're probably not in pure survival mode 24/7. But if the ultimate goal is freedom, peace of mind, and maximizing your existence, you're not there yet. So the real question is how much money do you need to become truly free? And once again, it's different for every single person, but let's say right now, for you to have enough money to do whatever you truly want and be happy and grant you true freedom, it's going to cost you around $7,000 a month. That would mean that throughout the entire year, you're going to be spending around $84,000. And if you want to make that every single year passively without having to actively work for the money, it's probably going to need to be around 3% of your net worth, meaning you're going to need to have around $3 million actively invested to become free with that example. And if you need more, it's more. If you need less, it's less. But how do you get there? Well, let's do some really quick math. If you're 25 years old right now, if you were to invest $1,000 every single month into some investments that grow at 7% per year, and you did this until you were 65 years old, you would still be $500,000 short of $3 million. You would actually need to invest over $14,000 per year at 7% for 40 years to get to 3 million. But since it's been 40 years because of inflation, you actually need something closer to $9 million. You still wouldn't be there. So if you're 25 years old right now and you wanted to have $9 million in your bank account by the time you're 65 years old, let's say you get an 8% return now, you're going to need to invest more than $32,000 per year for 4 decades straight. Then and only then will money finally buy you happiness and freedom. And obviously with that example, most people are never going to do that. And if you start doing the math to figure out how much money people need to make to become truly free, most people are never going to get there. This is why I think that most people are never going to be truly free and live a life that they truly want to. Because to have actual freedom, you're going to need to make a lot more money than you think. And most people are not going to get anywhere close to that. Happiness comes at a place beyond just survival. And most will never have enough resources to ever think beyond survival. And can you be happy without this? Without having a ton of money in the bank? Sure. If you find something you find purposeful and you're working towards it every day and you find a perfect balance between everything, then sure, you can be happy. But we all know most people aren't because they don't have any freedom. And the things they're doing every single day is something that they don't care about and has no more meaning than just trying to survive and make it to the next month. But unfortunately, I think it kind of has to be this way. Not everyone can have money because at the end of the day, someone has to be the one doing the work. And the work that needs to be done to keep society functioning usually isn't fun, but it needs to be done. And if everybody was happy and had money and were free to choose what they wanted, nobody would work because nobody wants to do the work. Everything would collapse. So my little conspiracy theory is that the system is set up to keep people working and have them just comfortable enough to not fight back, but also not too comfortable to the point when they stop working. Also meaning that people will never reach true happiness and freedom because the finish line is always so far out and their job will never get them there. It doesn't mean you can't fix this on an individual level though, because like I mentioned before, you primarily make money by providing value, by helping others with their problems as well. And if you find a way to provide excess value to a large amount of people, it increases your chances of achieving freedom, more or less. So to answer the question, does money automatically buy happiness? No. But does it help? Hell yes, it does. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it gives you the tools to build it.